Klaviyo has recently rolled out their newest update, and they've made quite a lot of changes, but the biggest one allows you to create 3 completely new flows that can generate you thousands of dollars in sales every single day. So in this video I'm gonna show you how to implement their newest update, how to create these new flows, and the exact emails that you can send in these flows. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to your Klaviyo account, select this brand name, click on integrations, then you need to go to Shopify, and then you're gonna see something looking like this, which is gonna be additional tracking features, and you need to click on get started. After you do it, make sure this is ticked on. If you have it like this, which I don't think you will, but if it's the case, make sure it's marked on and then click on save. It's gonna go to your Shopify account, not always, but sometimes it will. You need to click on update, then you need to confirm this, click on update integration, and then it's updated. Now, these metrics won't show up instantly, and by metrics I mean the new flows that you can create right now with this Klaviyo update. It's usually taking a few hours, so instead of holding you here, I'm just gonna switch the account to one of my client accounts, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like on their account and what are the possible flows that you can create. So let's get right into this. As you can see, this is another account where we already have the update turned on. And now when I go to metrics, there are 3 new metrics that are showing up. First one being added to cart, second one being collection viewed, and the third one being submitted search. All of these metrics allow you to create completely new flows that you couldn't really have before. I'm also gonna show you the structure for every single one of these flows very soon. But now, very important thing is that you can create all of these by just going to your flows. And now I'm gonna show you how to create every single flow one by one, starting off with the abandoned cart flow. So if you watched my other video showing you how to set up added to cart metrics separately, because previously Klaviyo wasn't allowed to use it at all, I was showing you how to do it manually and how to install it. Now, as you can see in this account, we have both of these metrics. This is the one that I have installed previously, following my other guide, and this is the one that Klaviyo has added from Shopify directly. To be honest, right now you can ignore this metric added manually at all. Like, you can just stop using it in general, mainly because this new metric from Shopify, from Klaviyo, is way more accurate. We're seeing even like 50% increase in added to cart events triggered across multiple of the Klaviyo accounts we managed. Just look at one of these examples where on October 8th, we had 37 add to carts, which were once again Shopify metric. But if you go to the event I installed manually, it's showing us 24 added to carts. Which once again, like if you take this number and if you add 50%, it's gonna come to, if you add 50%, it's gonna be 36. Right here you have 37, which is quite a lot. October 9th, 14 added to carts. Right there with the manual one, 3 added to carts. As you can see, the difference is absolutely huge. That's why you need to install this metric and update your Klaviyo account and use this added to cart as your abandoned cart flow. If you haven't done this flow yet, because you thought you have abandoned cart, but in reality it was abandoned checkout flow, you need to set it up from scratch. So if you want to do it, you just go to flows, click on create flow. You're gonna type in cart, and now there's a bunch of them. As you can see, there's really a lot of them. So what I recommend you do is scroll down a little bit. And now important thing, because you're gonna see under the name, so this is the flow name, and then you have small text below telling added to cart trigger. And you have a Shopify icon. So you might be thinking, okay, this is this flow. Well, it's not. Very important to notice that this trigger does not have Shopify icon next to it, which means that this is the old added to cart metric that we are installing manually. Don't create this flow because you should already have it, but even if you don't do it, ignore this. Instead, you need to, once again, just type in cart. You need to scroll down, and then you're gonna see Shopify added to cart trigger. This is the very end, and both of these work, like either this or maybe even this. Just click on any of these and okay, so this is, you see, this is not right as well, because it doesn't have Shopify icon. So once again, I need to type in cart from scratch and then scroll down to the very bottom. And you can see, okay, it's actually said added to cart trigger, but this one says Shopify added to cart trigger. You need to click on this, and now this is the exact flow we want. So make sure that the trigger says added to cart, but that it also has this Shopify icon. Otherwise, you'll be using the old metric, which once again performs way worse and collects less data than the new one. And then just simply click on create flow. Obviously, it's taking a second, but then you have your flow ready. Make sure to also adjust your filters. Usually, I recommend has not been in these flows in the last 7 days, right? So done, added to cart. 0 times since starting this flow. Once again, when doing these metrics or filters, adding them, make sure you have the added to cart with the Shopify icon, very important. You can install these filters, turn off smart sending for all of your emails. You don't want, smart sending to be turned on for any of the abandonment emails. It's very, very important, unless it's side abandonment. But this is how you set up abandoned cart flow. Now for the structure itself, you can see the trigger, time delays. I recommend you split test them, 30 minutes versus 2 hours. Email number 1 is just a simple cart reminder, being like, hey, we saw you checking us out. Seems like you forgot to complete your purchase. Just come back and finish it. Super simple, very short email, maximum 5 sentences is gonna be fine. Email number 2 is gonna be covering guarantees and risk reversal, because if someone added your product to cart, then chances are something stopped them from buying, and usually you can solve these objections by showing your guarantees and risk reversal. For example, free money back guarantee, satisfaction guarantee, maybe it's gonna be free shipping, anything else, make sure you cover it in the second email. Email number 3 is gonna be talking about USP, which is your unique selling proposition, and you want to be solving objections. So for example, someone might think, okay, I want to buy from this brand, but I saw this other product and I think it could be better for me because, for example, if it's a supplement, it's cheaper, right? So you want to solve the pricing objection by telling, hey, look, our products may be more expensive, but we use higher quality ingredients, or we support this foundation, for example. Anything that is your brand specific unique selling proposition, you need to introduce it, and then incentive intro, which is a discount code. Just give them an extra discount code, and pricing objection doesn't have to be the only one. Maybe it has something to do, okay, I'm wondering if this ingredient is safe for me or for my kid, right? And then you would say like all of our ingredients are lab tested. You have nothing to worry about. They have all of these, certificates, making sure that all of this is safe and that you can keep using it. Email number 4 is going to be about social proof and reviews, plus also remind them about the discount code. And email number 5 is going to be the last call for the incentive, which is going to mainly build some urgency to get people to act right now instead of waiting a few days to make the purchase. This is the exact abandoned cart flow that you can set up, and if you follow all of these email angles, I guarantee it will perform very, very well. Now let's get into the other flow, which is completely new, because abandoned cart flow, it is new, but if you followed my guide before, you could have this flow already done. But there is a completely new flow, which is abandoned collection. If you want to set it up, once again, you go to flows, create flow, and you type in collection, right? Make sure that once again, create collection trigger, create flow. And now what this flow does is, previously we had site abandonment and browse abandonment, but we had nothing in between if someone was, selecting products through the collection. What it means is that if someone was active on site, they were getting emails. But if someone viewed collection, they would get the same site abandonment flow because they haven't triggered this viewed product metric. Right now, they have rolled out a completely new metric, which is viewed collection, which allows us to target people even further. So this flow will be after site abandonment in terms of the hierarchy of the customer journey, but it will be before viewed product, right? Because they haven't been just active on the site. They have also gone, for example, from the home page or blog page to the collection page. They haven't viewed the product yet, which is going to be very important later down the line when I explain the exact structure for this flow. And you might not be familiar with this structure because, it's still fairly new and probably nobody even has this flow set up, but I'm still going to show you the exact email angles you can use to convert people to make sure that, you just take them from non-buyers to purchases. Right now, it's taking some time just to load all of the filters. But okay, you have trigger filter, which is collection name, right? Let's start with the profile filters. Obviously, you don't want to be targeting people who added to cart, started checkout, or placed an order after viewing the collection. But you also don't want to be targeting anyone who has actually viewed the product just because you have browse abandonment flow. So you don't want them to get both of these flows, you just want them to get one of these, right? So once again, make sure you type in viewed product, not viewed collection, viewed product, which is going to be the API thing, which once again will have the, this icon instead of Shopify one. Viewed product 0 times since starting this flow. So we'll need to add only this one filter for your flow. But then for trigger filters, it's actually quite important because by default they are doing, doesn't equal, which isn't perfect. But let's say you have multiple collections. Let's say you're a jewelry brand and you are selling rings, bracelets, and jewelry. Then you want to do collection. I would honestly do contains. If you have, for example, silver rings, gold rings, right, stuff like that, you can always play with this. But if you want to go really broad, you would just do rings. And if you do collection name contain rings, then anyone who enters this flow would be seeing content, or anyone who enters this flow after viewing rings collection would be getting this flow. If these would be necklaces, for example, right, necklace, you would just click on save, and then anyone who enters this flow, they have viewed collection, but the necklace collection, not the rings collection, which is going to be important in a second when I explain the exact emails you can use, right? So this is how you would do it normally. And you can add some extra filters, like if you want to, get very, very specific. Like for example, only people who have viewed necklaces, you would do similarly where a collection name, but then for example, doesn't contain, rings, right? Stuff like that. You can really play with this, but if you do collection name contains or even equals, right? And then you select from the drop down, then this would work as well. Just make sure that the type is text and that the actual collection is showing up here. Right now, we won't see this, for this brand because they have honestly just 2 collections. That's why you're seeing only these 2. And obviously all collection, but still you want to click on any of the collections that would be matching, which is collection name. In this case, it's gonna be, for example, wireless audio. I'm gonna hit save, and anyone who enters this collection but doesn't view the product from this collection is gonna get this flow. Onto the structure itself, we have covered the trigger, which is viewed collection. And as you can see, this flow is gonna be quite short, only 3 emails. That's mainly because the buying intent isn't as big as for example, browse abandonment, where in the browse abandonment, I would for sure include 5 emails. In this case, it's only 3 because it's still slightly low buying intent. The first email is just gonna be showing bestsellers from the collection. That's why I told you this trigger is so important, because if someone is gonna be showing, is gonna be viewing rings collection, you don't want to be showing them bestsellers across the brand, like bracelets, necklaces, earrings. You want to be showing them rings specifically. And email number 1 is gonna accomplish that. Then the second email is gonna be social proof, and this is, I've decided to go with the social proof mainly because someone still hasn't been on the product page, so the chances that they trust you are quite low. You want to build this social proof, show some of the reviews specifically for these bestsellers. That would be the base case scenario. And if you have been featured in any magazine like, Forbes or anything else, then you would mention it here as well, kind of like already mentioned, but you still want to do it. And the third email is gonna be the first email where you introduce an incentive in this flow, but it's gonna be a very short one. So I would really play with the urgency here, being like, hey, we are giving you a discount, for example, 10% off, but it's today only. If you do, or like 24 hours only. If you don't buy today or within these 24 hours, it's gonna expire and you will need to pay the full price. So once again, a little bit of urgency, but it works fairly well. This is the flow, once again, the second one from the new Klaviyo update. Now it's time for the third new flow from the Klaviyo update, which is gonna be search abandonment. The way you create it is similar to the previous ones. You go to flows, create flow, you type in search, and you have abandoned search flow, right? You click on this, you see the metric submitted search from the Shopify icon, and you click on create flow. Now for the search itself, usually these filters are fine. I would probably still add some filters like, viewed product 0 times, just to prevent them from getting, any other browse abandonment flows. And what I would probably do here is I would also add filter that anyone who has been in the collection flow wouldn't receive this one. So they won't be getting 2 of the emails, right? You want to really do these flows this way, and then it would be good. Now, search query doesn't equal. You can really play with this, but if someone types in some weird stuff, then obviously you want to help them. But if someone was looking for, something they couldn't find, this flow is gonna accomplish showing them what they might be looking for, or any help that they would be getting. So we want to do search query, and then you can do either, once again, like equal, doesn't equal, contains. I wouldn't really do equal, just because like someone needs to do, type in the exact phrase, which obviously not always happens. Like people can just do one typo or like miss something, and or maybe someone would type in, like, for example, silver rings, or for example sterling silver rings, something like this, right? And if you would have this as an equals and someone typed in just silver rings, you wouldn't target them. So we want to do contains silver rings, for example, right? And then if you do this way, or maybe even rings, if they type in rings, right? You want to be sending them an email being like, hey, if you couldn't find what you're looking for, check out our bestsellers, and you could show them just like any bestsellers across the brand pretty much. Obviously, you could get super granular with this, that if someone types in rings, they're showing them rings or silver rings. Same goes for gold rings and stuff like that. But yeah, you could also do, what you can actually do is doesn't equal empty, which I think is Klaviyo's default, which is pretty decent, because if it doesn't equal empty, then it means that someone actually searched it, right? And then this is also like a decent flow if you want to do it more generalized way. So if someone just typed in something and they didn't view the product, it means they haven't found what they were looking for. And this is where this flow would come in, and this is how I would honestly execute it. Because then like matching every single search is gonna be, it's not always gonna be so accurate, because we don't really know what people might be searching for. So if someone submitted a search that wasn't empty, right, and they didn't view the product, so they didn't click on any of the products, or they didn't go to the product page, then you can show them this flow, which will be, once again, if you can't find what you're looking for, check out our best sellers. And then 1 day later, you're gonna send an email saying, hey, if you need more help, just let us know. And you're gonna send this email because the way flow filters work is that if you have filters at the flow level, if someone clicks on the email number 1 and they view the product, they won't get this email number 2, just because the filter was at the flow level, right? But if someone receives this email and clicks on this, if they click on this on one of the best sellers, they would trigger the viewed product metric. But if they view this email and don't click on it at all, then you're gonna send the second email being like, hey, if you need more help, let us know. And honestly, I would make it like super soft. Like, hey, we saw you're searching for something. If you couldn't find what you need, let us know, reply to this email. Have some other kind of call to action. Like I would probably link collections just to show them, your best-selling collections, but not all of them, maybe like 3 top ones, just to make sure that if they don't want to reply to the email, which can be the case, like not everyone wants to, keep replying and going back and forth, give them the option to choose one of the collections and buy from these, because it's also going to help you make more sales. So this is really the search abandonment flow, which once again, I don't think it will bring you a ton of revenue because not that many people use the search bar, but these 2 flows are definitely going to be very, very important if you want to maximize your Klaviyo revenue and get the best performance from your emails. So this is the newest update from Klaviyo that they rolled out. Once again, make sure you implement all of these because it's super important. But on the other hand, if you're wondering how to create high converting pop-up to convert between 5 to 15% of your total list into email subscribers so that you can trigger these flows for them, make sure you watch out this video, which is gonna show on the screen, where I cover the entire pop-up masterclass showing you how to build high converting pop-up that converts new traffic, cold traffic into paying email subscribers. Thanks for watching, make sure you like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.